Jason, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me, and congratulations. I thought he's going to say for your birthday, but we know it was your birthday.
Yeah, it was quite a way to celebrate. So, Jason, tell me, what have you been up to until October 7th?
So we've only got 10 minutes, but in 1 minute, I'm South African born, so you don't have to guess about this funny accent. I decided to make Aliyah at the age of 5. My parents dragged me kicking and screaming. I fell in love with this country. I'm probably one of the staunchest Zionists there are. I'd be happy to compete with anybody to see someone who's more. Maybe there's one here in the crowd who I spent 8 years in Special Forces with that person, and never thought I would leave. In '94, I left for 1 year, spent 25 years in Silicon Valley, did pretty much, everything tech possible. Started boring traditional enterprise software. Was pulled out by Shai Agassi to start something called Project Better Place, which is basically an energy tech, climate tech, whatever tech. But in 2007, it was a pretty lonely field. Spent 5 years leading Better Place North America. Then I did. Most of you know the ending there, but did a few other startups, came back to Israel finally 5 years ago, and I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. So that's what I did till October 7th.
You've been busy. So I understand that on October 10th, just 3 days after the war broke out, you embarked on a new journey by founding Iron Nation with 2 partners. Could you share with us the story behind founding Iron Nation and what the fund aims to achieve?
Quick hand. Who has heard of Iron Nation?
Wow.
Pretty impressive. I didn't think I'm going to ask that question, but I had to see what people have seen. So a lot of people I understand are entrepreneurs here. As entrepreneurs, and I've never been or wanted to be on the investor side. When the war broke out, we all looked at what we're going to do. Looking at my age, looking at my other 2 partners, Gil Friedman, who's an ex-Air Force pilot, and Chen Linchevsky, who's from my unit from Sayeret Matkal, we said, what can we do? And Chen came up with this idea following a very horrific day for our unit, where we lost 9 soldiers in a single day. It's pretty much the entire history of our unit didn't lose 9 soldiers. We lost 9 soldiers in that single October 7th day. We looked at what we can do, and you know the list. We could have gone to PIC, we could have gone to transport people, we could have gone to do a lot of very worthy things, but after 30 years as entrepreneurs, we realized that there's going to be a lot of young people exactly in this age group that are going to be called out to Miluim. They're going to be doing reserve duty, so they won't be able to be running their startups. They're going to lose funding, because which VC doesn't want to take away money when there's extra risk involved? They might lose customers, they might lose partners. So we came and we said, we're going to take this the entrepreneur way. We have an invented VC, so we're going to leverage the entire ecosystem, both on the service providers, people that do kind of the legal and IP and investor relations side, as well as the people that select and mentor companies. There's lots of them in this amazing ecosystem. So we leveraged everybody, but we set up a VC. We brought in $20 million fairly quickly. We were the most active VC in Q1 24 after being in Q4 only an idea. And our mission is basically help entrepreneurs that were on a trajectory to be these next great companies, but that the war slowed them down, stopped them. We've got so many different examples. We've made 15 investments so far. We've still got money to invest. So this is a call out. And that's what we've been doing since October 7th.
Amazing. Can you walk us through Iron Nation's startup selection process? What criteria do you prioritize when identifying potential startups?
Great follow-on question. So I said we're open, but it's not, I'll start with what it's not. It's not a philanthropy. So we're not here to save companies that would not survive without us, which is, of course, not an easy distinction. But what we are looking for, we're looking for companies that I'll start with there's two criteria. There's one, the business criteria. This is going to be a great company, like any VC looks at. But the other thing is that there was some impact. And impact is very variable, very subjective. But they have to show impact from the war. Okay, those are the two broad criteria. So diving in below that, you have had to had at least $1 million in prior investment. We don't do first check, pre-seed. We're not there. So if you've got a great idea, go find the money, go do it. We are doing seed and A stage companies, which means you've had $1 million before. You have to have at least a handful, 6, 7 employees, because we're looking at the impact on the entire ecosystem. We've had 800 applicants today, which represent $4 billion of invested capital. And of course, with raising only $20 million, we only can do about 20 or so investments. So you have had to raise that money. You have to have a significant amount of people. You have to have some kind of proof of concept, something that's working, maybe pre-revenue, post-revenue, depending on exactly where you are. But it has to show that there's indications of product market fit. And then we're a great partner because we can come in and invest between $500,000 and $1.5 million in a process that's fairly quick. Initially we were a little naive, like all entrepreneurs. Some of the assumptions we made where we'll be able to make an investment in 2 to 3 weeks didn't pan out that way. But unlike traditional VCs, we're much quicker because we've got 100 volunteers, experts from the top people in all industries, and they can help us cut the time without lowering the quality of the companies we invest in.
Thank you. So I have to ask, as a climate tech entrepreneur, how do you feel about investing in energy tech companies?
It's a great question. Unfortunately, only one of the 15 companies we've invested in is energy tech related and was on this beautiful map that I didn't see before, but one of the bigger companies on this map. So it means there's opportunity for you guys, whoever needs that. Coming from Better Place in 5 years in pseudo energy tech, because back in 2007-8, when we would sit, and I was in Silicon Valley, with there was really like a Tesla team, there was the California utilities, 3 utilities. We would sit in a very small group and talk about all those big complex things on the map. Generation, transmission, microgrids, and it was all fairly early. And I'm still seeing a lot of those same discussions. We would have thought that by now everybody would be driving electric cars that would do vehicle to grid and backwards. So for me, this is probably, and when they asked me to come speak here, I said, this is the one I want because we're generalists. I believe that from a monetary perspective and the change that's happening in the world, yeah, cyber, we know all that. But energy is definitely one of the top industries. And just one last thing. Yesterday I was in a workshop, a round table, around Tkuma, because Shachar mentioned the Otef, and hopefully they don't call it the Otef anymore. But I was in a workshop in Jerusalem with the government Tkuma people, with Apollo Group, some big financiers and that. And there's a huge opportunity here for the ecosystem. Of course, you can't put unproven technologies in the ground, like someone here in the audience reminded me an hour ago. But we have to work together as an ecosystem between the business and the technology and everything to make sure that we actually come out stronger than we were. So for me, would love to see more portfolio companies, and we do have more money to invest. So you can apply at ironnation.org. It's just ironnation.org, one word, and we'll be happy to get a lot of energy companies.
Amazing. Wow, Jason, I have to say that I'm truly inspired by your work in both supporting the tech ecosystem and driving business growth. I'm looking forward to seeing how Iron Nation continues to expand its footprint in the energy tech ecosystem.
And working with Machon HaYetzu.
And working with Machon HaYetzu.